What a morning. It seems the internet's really playing up quite bad today. Um, it could be. I produce a lot of power, not in myself. Well, I do in myself, to be honest. But solar, I have quite a big solar install, and I produce a lot of power. So whether that has anything to do with it, I'm not too sure. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to see whether this builds up, settles down, whether we get comments in the room, whether the numbers go up. If not, this will be the last time I'll pop back onto you probably tomorrow. I'm just going to be busy for the rest of the day. But just wanted to talk about certain things that are going on in the world, etc., etc. And that don't look like. Let's just leave it a few minutes. If I just sit here and act like a statue, maybe it'll fire up. Who knows? Interesting. Oh, homemade protein shakes. Good for you, man. Good for you. One in the room. This is outrageous. What's going on here? Yeah, no, I'll come back later today, I think. This is driving me around the loopy-loos. It's just coming up to midday. You'd expect people to be up already. I don't think I'm being censored, but this is acting slow. I must admit, the computer's not acting as it should be this morning. I don't know what's quite going on. But we know that computers and systems have hissy fits anyway. Yeah, one in the room. Outrageous. Right, I'm going to just try something sexy if I can build the stream up. Let's see if I can speed this stream up a bit. Yeah, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. Let's see if I can bring this.
"77 ways to get more customers."
Yeah, this computer's playing up today, man. 2. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it's only weird why there's only 2 in the room. It's mad. Where's everybody this morning? It's like a threesome. Anyway, I think there's something going on with the internet this morning. I really do. Really do. That's crap music. Crap music! It's really bad, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, it's one of the two, Matt. I'm not too sure who it is. I think I've just got a bad stream this morning, personally. I do. I think it's just a bad stream. Oh no, it's getting bigger now. It's getting bigger now. Yeah, no, back down to 2. It's mad. Oh no, back to 3. Even if my computer's acting really weird this morning. I don't know what's going on. Happy Father's Day anyway. Unbelievable.
Never make promises, 'cause I don't keep them.
Sabotage! I've been sabotaged. Look, it's because I've got man boobs. I'm working on them actually. Oh, have a little workout in a minute. Now we've just done a 1500 calorie protein shake. Morning everybody, lovely to see you. I'm just going to try and wait for people to jump on. Elaine Clark, hello sweetheart, thank you darling. Perhaps I should share this out myself, eh? Let's have a little share out. It does seem that I've got a bit of a bad stream here this morning. But it is what it is. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just bear with me, people. Fasha. Fasha. Matt, that's like Austin Powers, isn't it? Fasha. Fasha. I've got Dutch relations on the missus's side. And one of them is he's a Dutch. He's been in all the Playboy magazines and whatever, 6-packs, good-looking boy. And when they come over a few years ago, I always got him to say Fasha. And the way he says it, Fasha, I'll tell you. I used to cry, sit there laughing me off. We used to put a bit of Austin Powers on, and Austin, Fasha! Or Gold member would go Fasha, and Emil would go, Fasha! Oh, I tell you, to cry me laughter. My daughter always spelt Fasha, yeah, Fasha, Fasha, Fasha. Fasha, but it's nice. You know what she meant, eh? You know what she meant. And we've got Google Hangouts up and running, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just share the link with you. And if you want to jump on Google Hangouts, you can. That'd be great. Just to let you all know, the Albert Pike statue, itchy nose. Albert Pike. Oh God, something really weird going on this morning. I don't like it. I'm just going to show you the Google Hangouts link in this video. So have I just shared? No, I haven't. Yeah, I'll share it out in this one. So we're going to start getting this Google Hangouts thing up and running, so a lot of you can intercourse and interact. You've got the link just popped up in your chat box. Google Hangouts. Worried you're overexposed to Wi-Fi. Keep the door open. Yeah, no, I will open the door in a minute. It's a bit chilly here this morning. Love your studio. A bit worried that you're over. Oh yeah, that's good. It's good, isn't it? The old studio's good. I just got to tidy a few things up, but it is what it is. I've not had the time to set it all up properly yet. It's nicer of a night. It's Cadbury's purple. Who's that at me gate? Oh, it's Tia and her mother. They're going down to see the horses. Our horses are out grazing down the road at the minute. Give the grass a rest out in the field, let it grow a bit. So the studio's coming good, man. Studio's coming good. So yeah, Albert Pike. There's a memorial to Albert Pike. I'm just going to find the email. It just come through from my gorgeous friend this morning, who is a big part of the British Constitution, the BCG, British Constitution Group, which is quite a big organisation. He's just sent me an email saying that the retards have pulled down the Albert Pike statue, probably not knowing who Albert Pike is. Albert Pike's predictions. So Albert Pike's graven image toppled into the dust. Let me just. Can you hear me with the music going on? Can you? Let me just turn it down a tad. Right, so you should be able to hear me now. Can you? Is that too loud or is that all right? Hang on. I need to kind of. Is that too? Can you hear that now? 5x5. Oh, you can hear me all right. Okay, that's cool. Let's give it a little bit more of a nugget then. So if you can all still hear me over that, that's fantastic. So yeah, on the eve of the summer solstice, the graven image of Albert Pike, the chief of 19th century Freemasonry and Satanism in America, has been fallen and burned in Washington, D.C. This could not have happened in decades past. Hallelujah. Satan's kingdom is falling. This is by Michael Hoffman. The image of Pike's fallen statue wasn't toppled by those protesting against Satanism in the NWO. It was toppled by brainwashed millennials, Marxist trained college kids who are leading us into the NWO. The rabble who tore it down most likely don't have a clue about the Masonic Association. To them, it's just another toppled statue of an oppressive dead white male who needed to be done away with, all part of the drive to usher in the revolutionary aims of the left. So Albert Pike was a supreme commander of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Southern jurisdiction, the most powerful Masonic organisation on earth. His satanic magnus opus, Morals and Dogma, was read by hundreds of thousands of white Masons. Pike's loathing of black people is undeniable for the history of Judo-Masonic support for slavery, the Confederacy and the Klan. Unlike in times past, on June the 19th, the Invisible Empire was unable to keep Pike's icon from toppling into the dust in flames. For a symbol oppressed cabal once supreme in America, this national humiliation is an ominous portent. Revolutions devour their owns. In 18th century France, Robespierre executed his founding comrade Danton and was in turn himself guillotined by his brother in the French Revolution. Stalin killed hundreds of Judaic communist leaders who had helped to form the Bolshevik Revolution. Now Albert Pike's own serpent has called up, and that's it. So Albert Pike's been toppled, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to share this link out to Facebook and see if we can get a few more in, and then we'll get into some nuggets of what we wanted to come in and chat about today. you know, what's gone on yesterday in Reading is just disgraceful, just absolutely disgraceful. And it's got to stop. It's really, really got to stop. So it's not right, is it? It's just so not right. I'm just going to share this out on VK. MeWe. So let's chuck him out on MeWe. Hopefully we'll get a few more in. To be honest with you, people are probably doing what they have got to do today. So it is what it is. Let's just have a look at Google Hangouts and see whether anyone has decided to take up the offer. Pop in on Google Hangouts. KP, J Burke, Kevin Burke, happy days. What we can do is I can fire up a call and we can get into some nuts and bolts if you fancy. Yeah, let's do that. It's not very loud though, is it? Some weird stuff going on here this morning, ladies and gentlemen, on this internet. Hey! Who we got? Is that you, Kev?
Weird stuff going on here this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you'll have to turn the speaker down, love.
Who we got? Is that you, Kev?
Oh dear. You there, bruv? Oh, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? I don't know what quite went on there, Kev, but you've got to turn your speakers down, love. I don't know if you're at home listening to this right now, but if we tolerate this. Whose song? That was the Manic Street Preachers, wasn't it? That was the Manic Street Preachers. Guys, what I'm going to do is, we do have some issues here this morning. There's hardly anyone in. This is unusual. I just think I've got a bad internet stream and that this morning. Things are acting like really mega weird. You were in a call with Matt Taylor. What is going on here, man? Something's going on. I'm not too sure what it is. Yeah, but that's Manic Street Preachers that sung that song. Elaine. Yeah. So, look, I'm going to get going. I'm going to have a quick chat on Google Hangouts and try and build up some sort of thing going over there. You've got the link. I should probably be back to you guys later today. Docker Dawson, join the group. Happy days. I will put the call back out. Hang on.
Can you hear me, Dave? It's Matt from Brighton.
Hello, gorgeous. That's got some wicked backlash, isn't it? Matt, you've got to turn off the background if you could. Sounds like how's that? Docker Dawson? Something really weird going on with this internet today. It don't make sense.
Can you hear me better now?
That's better, mate. Yeah, we got you. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Dave. And technical difficulties aside, it's always great seeing you.
Yeah, mate, and yourself. How's Brighton?
Well, it's a bit windy and wet.
Yeah.
I often think about that Reading incident. Is that more down to terrorism or mentally ill people in our community with no support?
Well, yeah, you're right. There isn't any support. I can remember actually building my place a few years ago, and I got my roof tiles from an institution, an old Victorian mental institution down in East Sussex that was being pulled down. And I had a lot of Jamaican boys and that down there that were boxing up all the bricks and the tiles, and we bought a load off of them. It is, I mean, for me, mental health is there don't seem to be the care involved. It's just all about managing. It's not about rehabilitating. They just prescribe drugs to mask the symptoms, and it's not doing anyone any good. Most mental health issues for me are all about stress-related incidences, because this whole world is based on a massive stress level right now. Yeah. So if you eliminate the stress from people's lives, give them good food, good clean water, good environment, it's like a goldfish. If you put a goldfish in good clean water in a massive tank of water, he's going to be getting about his merry way. If you've got a few friends in there, he might get on with them. He might have a little fight now and again. But if you put him in a tiny, tiny, tiny little bowl and you put dirty water in, he's going to go round and round and round and round, drive yourself crazy, and probably turn upside down and die. So all this mental health stuff, assessments, drugs, injections, in point of fact, if you catch these things early enough and you change someone's environment and tell them, look, everything's going to be just fine. We're going to work through this together. We're going to change your life. We're going to make sure no more stresses. Well, you're going to improve the people within themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does.
Dr. Dawson says you need to go off screen, then tell them to turn their volume down, and whoever wants to speak, turn their volume back on. We are hearing you. Repeat yourself. Oh God. How's that now, Dr. Dawson? Are you getting this okay now, or are you getting this double bubble? Because you're on live stream, you're only getting me through the live stream, and because I've got Matt on another device. So anyway, but how's Brighton, mate? You enjoying yourself?
I love Brighton. It's the best place in the UK for me.
Yeah. How long you been there?
All my life, Brightonian born.
Oh, a Brightonian. What about the football team? How's that going?
Well, I love them as dearly as any other Brightonian.
Yeah, do you support them?
Yes, of course I do. I can see the stadium from my house.
Oh, lovely.
And it always reminds me that dreams do come true.
They do.
And I remember whole of Brighton dreamt of having a new stadium. And whenever I look at that stadium, it fills me with confidence and joy that dreams can come true. Yeah,
God bless you, man. What do you make of what happened yesterday, Matt, in Reading with these fatalities?
I'm not sure whether it's a terrorist attack or a mentally insane individual going out stabbing people. But either way, I think it was a real event. Because I saw something on Facebook earlier on of an eyewitness account. So I'm not believing that this time of any full flag startup operation. I believe it's a real event. But whether it was terror related or just mentally related, yet determined.
It's so sad. Can you imagine how the families must feel today, having lost their loved ones?
And it's across the world, families of all loved ones that are lost. It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's disgraceful.
I want to mention today about you talking about lowering the stress. I always found it insulting when politicians moaned about the welfare costs in the UK.
Yeah.
I just say to them, hey, no matter what the welfare cost is, you are tasked with making sure that welfare cost is paid.
Amen.
Not known about the cost of our welfare.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. It weren't you, was it with have you got a daughter? Have you got a daughter?
Yeah, I've got a daughter and son.
Was it you last year that got hold of me and said you was out around town and someone was out wielding a knife and you got home, or was that someone else? I can't remember.
Someone else, Dave.
Right, so last year there was an attack down in Brighton where that was it. They drove their car or van into a couple of people down in Brighton, and my friend said he just missed it and he was lucky to get home with his young kiddie. I mean, to me, we take our life in our own hands now. Every time we go out, we've got no safety net anymore, Matt. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And it's been taken away from us to increase that stress level, because everything is done by design, I believe, in this day and age.
Yeah. What do you do for a living, Matt? Don't mind me asking.
Well, freelance writer, graphic designer.
Wow.
I've been into I've had a lot of disputes with Sussex Police. At the moment, they've got all my toys, so I can't earn a living.
The Uber Fuhrers, as I call them.
Oh, they're a bunch of bastards. But like I said, we recently had a couple who were arrested over the Gatwick Road fiasco have been compensated $200,000 plus legal costs. I'm looking forward to having my own compensation from Sussex Police for my own unlawful arrest and imprisonment. I put my terms and conditions on my court pay.
Did you?
£1,500 an hour.
Good.
So here alone, I've been locked up for 1.5 hours. So I'm claiming about £92,250 plus police.
Well, the most valuable thing that we have in this ether whilst we're here as men and women is time. We can't get our time back. So our time should be about our free will and how we want to use it. So absolutely, the police don't work for nothing, the courts don't work for nothing. So why should we work for nothing? Why? Can I ask what the arrests were about?
Yeah, certainly. It's they've accused me of stalking because, as a journalist, I write stuff. I've been accused of harassing a Hampstead lad because I called him an alleged satanic cult leader in one of my articles, and also on the eve of the coronavirus lockdown on the 22nd of March, I got arrested. I had about 5 a.m. dawn rate, about 10 coppers, over an incident that happened 6 months beforehand. So on the eve of lockdown virus, I had all my computer stolen, all my phone. I had no contact with the outside world when I needed the most. And since then, because there wasn't enough evidence for me for stalking, they put a stalk order against me. And I've since been arrested for not giving the police my address within 3 days, even though they knew where I lived, and for a second time for allowing Andy Devine to mention a few initials on one of my live streams. So basically, they're getting me on technicality. Sussex Police sent me because I've never got criticised in that, and we're in the middle of a fight for our lives.
It would appear then that you're going after the kids stuff to expose the ritualistic child abuse. Did you see the other day the Sun newspaper reported on some guy in Japan had gone in for his McDonald's, and which is terrible food, ladies and gentlemen, and he'd found some teeth in and on observation of the pictures that the Sun newspaper offered up. These kids, like when you're kids, your milk teeth are different, aren't they? They come out like little caps. They're not too far into your gums. And you could see that they were children's teeth. So the Sun newspaper last week reported on the fact that some guy in Japan whose burgers were imported from the USA, because all burgers from McDonald's are imported from America, had children's teeth in them. I mean, what do you make of that?
Well, it's revealing a side of our world that is hidden, of course, for good reason it's hidden, but it's a side of the world that I don't think anyone is capable of getting their head around.
No, I agree. I do
10
agree.
years ago, he told me, kids were being raped, killed and eaten by the people we look up to most in society. I would have called you mad, but now, 10 years on, I firmly believe that's what's happening.
I'm liking to mind a film that I watched years and years ago called Time Machine. It was an old film where this guy built this seat that he sat in, and the back of it used to spin around like an umbrella, and he could go forwards and backwards. Do you remember the film where he went when he went? Did you remember it?
Yeah, of course I did. H.G. Wells, and it was fantastic. Yeah.
Great film. If you've never watched that film, ladies and gentlemen, go and watch it. It's fantastic. Well, at the end of the film, he has to deal with them things that live underground, right?
Mm.
And what amazed him, which is pretty much like where I am now, is he's walking around in this building with all these gorgeous men and women, and they're walking around like automatrons. They're like just walking, doing, not questioning. And when this alarm, it goes, the doors open, and a certain amount of them walk out, then the doors shut, and the others get back to normal, and the others go underground, and they're getting eaten by the Morlocks. The Morlocks, yeah. And I truly believe that is where we are in a similar kind of way, but like you see at the end of the film, he single-handedly destroyed the Morlocks and freed the people. So Albert Pike, his statue in America, I do believe, the senior Freemason, Albert Pike's Free World War predictions, they've toppled his statue. They've dragged him down, mate. So and they burnt him, and I think they've smashed him to pieces. So I think Albert Pike's gone for a burn.
But look, if we're going to start taking statues down, let's take all the statues that praise the satanic legacy.
I agree. I do agree.
And what you just said then, Dave, about finding a tooth in a McDonald's burger, let's just concentrate on that. How the hell the bloody tooth turn up in a McDonald's burger? Let's not move away. Let's concentrate on that and get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very traumatizing, but the Muggles, bless them, they're always out there, aren't they? Queuing up for their McDonald's when it opened up the other week with the 2 metre social distancing. They're all there queuing up for their burgers. They can't get enough of that stuff. So we've got a long way to go. What do you think's coming out of this coronavirus situation, Matt? What do you think where we're going to end up with this?
Victory. I think it's going to be victory for every open-minded man, woman, and child, because they've had to put all their cards on the table.
Amen.
They knew they were quite bruising for a bruising, and then they had to bring out their final solution.
Yeah.
More and more people, and it's down to people like you, Dave. So I take my hat off to you.
Bless you.
And I big shout out to you and everyone who does what you do. Because of you saying what you're saying, you are changing perceptions. I think in the long run, this coronavirus is going to expose them more than it's going to expose us.
Amen. No, I agree.
I love what Patsy Calloway has done with that Queen song, "He Will Rock You," like changing the lyric.
Oh, did she? I haven't seen that.
We should all do our own version.
Yeah.
We're all over the place.
What do you make of? We can do a specific show one night on the Hampstead stuff because I know a fair bit about that, but we have to be a bit careful of how we put that information out there.
You see, the thing about that, Dave, with last year, Sussex Times knocked on my door in February 2019. I was pissed at my sister on a Saturday night, and I had a Sussex Times waving me a court order dated back in 2015. And you're not allowed to take Dad's name in public. And so I got given this court order and told I've got to adhere to it. I was later arrested later on that year, breaking this court order, the 10th of February 2015 court order. Actually transpired that there was another court order dated the 19th of March 2015, which allowed the naming of the Hampstead. So I'm using that as my claim for full arrest.
Do you?
Does it bring? Don't bring around unavoidable court orders, tell me I've got to adhere to them, and then arrest me for breaking a non-court order. So I'm an expert on the Hampstead case because I've been accused of harassing the Hampstead case twice in 2 years. I've got a lot to say about the Hampstead, and let's leave it at that. And eventually I will be paying it.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people that have been involved in that over the years. Ved Chowdhury, Andy Devine knows quite a bit. There's a lot of people that have put their neck on the line and paid the price. John Wedger, I know John. I just,
Well, first of all, JP, John Patterson, is in jail at this moment
I know.
on the testimony of Martin, Steve Martin and the Hampstead had.
It's
And
disgusting.
so
Isn't it?
John Hope, he's related. So the gang, I accuse Sussex Police of having a satanic sect within their ranks. Can I stand by that?
It's disgusting, isn't it?
And I think that's greatest danger, hated the world, that there's a satanic elite operating behind. But yet, having just said that, I realise how crazy that sounds. But yeah, I'm going to stick with it.
What woke you up, Matt? Can I ask? I always say to people that get the vibration that we talk about, there's normally a trigger point. There's normally something that happens to them where their conscience sort of grabs them, their morals go, right, you've got to pay attention. So what kind of was it for you that sort of got you to wake up a bit?
I want to say this. I've always been awake with my mother. I've always been a black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
Always looked at like from the alternative point of view.
Good.
Secondly, when I was an altar boy once, I was serving in mass and I knocked the cup of wine over. And I was expecting the priest to say, refill the cup up. But the priest carried on the service, attempting to pour the wine in a chalice, drink it for the whole congregation. But I knew there was no drink wine in that chalice. It was lying to everyone. So from an early age, I knew that people in authority, other people look up to, lie face to face. And when I told the other, none of them believed me. But right from an early age, I realised people in authority lie. Other people don't believe the truth when it was presented to them. And of course, the other big eye opener for me was 9/11.
Cool, isn't it?
See how those hours elapsed under the we're led to believe that.
Yeah, mate.
And then, of course, I got into reading the Woolwich incident, out into my mind. I started watching Pitch Planet TV, and it's just been a progression of that. Of course, like everyone else, I don't think it's growing up, but 9/11 really brought it home to me. How about you, Dave? George?
Oh, mine was I was taken into an Inland Revenue building years ago. I'd arranged a meeting with some of their bods, and even then, I was going down there thinking, I don't know these people, but they seem to claim to own me and have some sort of authority. Anyway, I went into this meeting, and they pulled a massive big file out with my name on it, and it was like, man, you could have kept your doors open with it. The wind wouldn't have blown them shut. And I sat down at the end of this big long table, and these two women in their 20s started screaming and shouting at me. And I went, excuse me, ladies, let's have a bit of decorum. And it was like they were spitting at me, and they were throwing papers. I went, look, don't throw papers at me. I said, that's outrageous. And they kept saying to me, you've got to sign these. You must sign. I went, I'm not signing nothing. And I realised at that point, actually, they're leaning on me to try and get me to do something that I don't want to do. And that was the first trigger. So I said to them, look, I'm not signing nothing. And they said, well, you're not leaving the building. I said, great. What we got for dinner? I said, I like a bit of steak. And in the end, they said, well, we'll let you take these files. You just got to get your accountant to sign them. And I just wanted to get out of the building. But as I walked out the door, I said to these two young ladies, I said, look, lasses, I said, I don't know you. You don't know me. What you've just done to me in there is a violation of all my natural rights. I said, no, I don't know how it is you get control over us. I said, but let me tell you something now. When I figure out what you've done, I'm going to make it rain on you. And they just smirked at me as if to say, oh, go on, you peasant, off you go. So when I figured it out, there was a fair few months of it was in the back of my mind. I carried on working and doing what I was doing. But I just kept thinking to myself, I've got to figure this out. And then I just stumbled across YouTube for the very first time. I'd seen this platform called YouTube pop up. And I was just casually typing away, free man. And boom, this video popped up and it was John Harris. And I'm like, okay, let's have a watch. He looks like a down-to-earth kind of fella. And I watched it once. It's just an illusion. And I thought, nah, can't be that simple. No, this guy's off of it. Watched it a couple of times. And that's what started me off. And that was absolutely it. And ever since then, I do my best to help people with all sorts of situations, from bailiffs to court fines to police letters and stuff. Although I don't go and scream and shout about it a lot on Facebook, I do a lot in the background with people, and we do it privately, and it works out that best way. So when I do these, I just generalize and chit chat and hope that people out there do get it. Now we've got another guy, a good buddy of mine, Dr. Dawson, on the chat, and I don't know if he's there in the hangout, but he's another man that I've spoken with him a lot over the years, and a few of the lads that he knocks about with, and they're changed. Yeah, Dr. Dawson's here. He's had. I remember seeing him a couple of years ago with bailiffs coming down his drive, and he's telling them to jog on, and there's no authority here, and he slams his gates in their face. Absolutely amazing. So that's what we've got to do. Okay. Just carry on chatting a sec, Si. I've just got to go and say that to me mates. They've come round to pick up something. Can you hold the call for a few secs, Si?
Yeah, mate, no worries.
Right up.
How you doing? I'll say more. How you doing, that, Matt?
Yeah, I'm fine. Nice to make your acquaintance.
Nice to see you. I'm not like that in your face.
Following on from what Dave said, I remember watching that John Harris, God bless his soul, and the Straw Man, and then it was Guy Taylor as well, and another great work. Again, sadly passed on.
Yeah, it seems to be everybody passes on like the other guy who fought along with Axelon, and he died not, I think it was last year. They will know it. I forgot what his name was. His name. I mean, there's a few open people lives, and people pass it on very quickly. It's a sick thing and world we're living in. And when you realise that everything's contract in commerce under the sole corporation and the good out, and they just use that equity, that blood equity, to rape from them by giving consent willingly. And this is a takedown. I'm sure this is the last part of the film today. Is coronavirus crap. This is the last part of the film.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, mate.
The only reason, I mean, everything's been normal in that area, back in my village. I'll just watch it. I'm not queuing over there. I wait, go to the Exos and Asda, and bring back car and the local shop, bought these, and they need to boycott them all. They're going for a cash to suspend it, minute. They're going for a and you can tell that they protect legal tender. It's legal tender and it's back in statute law. And it's been back. And when more people get up, I had loads of people on my own, and they took account because I was speaking with them on bill, council tax, everything what you're paying into. And it's all on the everything fraud, all to do with the
Yeah, I agree, mate. Yeah, and it's become so in our face now. I think you might be blind not to see it.
A few friends of mine, they knew about it, but you know how they turn the football or on in and Now they just turn in and they're asking the question, hey, really privately on the messenger and what do you think of it? And they're gradually waking up, but will it be enough time to take this cabal down? If we don't put the belly of the beast and stop saying it, and the vote for the Central Parliament being put right and put your letters into Home Office for the Chris Johnson and do it for the MP and so digitally will actually take this to Parliament and put it into Parliament, put it into the House of Commons. Now, after the House of Commons and Parliament are held by bribery and blackmail, what they're up to, every one of them is worth a net of $1 million. On all corporate frauds, especially double dipping. They double dipping on everything.
It's disgusting.
And people are voting, and that's the thing here. Vote, and they'll just do the same thing, year out, year in. Revolt, everybody needs to revolt. Revolt the right to vote. The vote don't mean nothing. Brexit all year.
Yeah, I've voting for me is just, people get so excited when they go down the booth. It's like, oh, I'm voting today, and I'm like, oh God, Jesus, you're voting for your enslavement. But they can't. Yeah. They will get it. It's they must be now seeing what's going on. You know, surely.
I don't think it's necessary for everyone to get it. I think there's a certain percentage that need to get it.
Yeah.
To change the whole, but I honestly don't believe we have to wait our time to convince everyone.
I agree.
So you're always going to have some zombie dead, brain dead idiots who will believe 2 + 2 = 5 because Boris is telling them 2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah.
Or they've got onto their head saying 2 + 2 = 5. The fact that we've got a small minority of people who go, no, I'm not buying that, that's all we need. But, you know, time will tell. We're not there yet. The criminals are still in charge. And until that changes, me can't go inherit the earth.
I agree there.
It's the direction. It's the direction what's feeding on these families. The families are now calling up, saying, coming to, oh, that guy was doing him. He told me to play because Boris can come and visit you now. You what? Boris says you can come visit people. Oh, Boris gone. Hey, you have
to wonder. I was filling my van up I was getting some fuel for my lawnmower, and this woman she started fumbling for these little gloves to put on so she could handle the petrol pump. And I says, "You're right, love." I actually thought she worked there, and I thought she was going to try and attempt to pass them to me. And she went, yeah. I said, "You putting them on?" She went, "Yeah." I said, "You got coronaphobia?" Oh, she said, "No, I'm a vulnerable individual. I have to be so careful." I'm like, "No, it's all good. I didn't mean to take the mickey out of you." I said, each to their own. I said, "But do you really believe this is an epidemic, pandemic?" She went, "Well, of course it is." She said, "I've lost 2 people, or I know that of 2 people that have passed of it." I says, "Only 2 people?" She went, "Yeah." I said, "So they've died, but it's not an epidemic, is it?" I said, "Because unless you've lost half the people in your village, in your town, in your city, it's no more than a flu virus that kills people in any case." And I could see her brain was having a little tick up, and I just left it. But I'm finding it increasingly hard to intercourse with people out there because the level of fear in them is just it's driving me mad. They're not living; they're just existing. And that's a sad thing.
I've got posters printed up on A4 sheets on the toxic film, not the breathing back in. I think when I'll look, I said, "Have you cold or flu or something?" I said, "No, I'm just saying it for myself." Well, You think you're hurting yourself by breathing carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Carbon dioxide, the trees need your carbon dioxide, and we need their CO2. Why are you lowering your immune system? I said, once you've lowered it, and your age, if you're 50 or 60, whatever, your immune system lowers, and then you're susceptible to cold. Because not you're not giving leaflets on it.
Why are they not? Why is the government not having departments talking about immune system boosting? Why are they not talking about vitamins, minerals, good food, healthy foods, healthy fats, healthy waters? Why? What's all that about?
You know why, Dave?
Well, yeah, I do, but this is what. Oh, I've got a dog fox walking across the field. Look at him go. Why are they not? Why don't we have these people in these departments, the Minister for Health or Agriculture, saying you should be getting your vitamin D, your vitamin C, you should be eating proper real food, living food, drinking good water. I mean, my distiller's on the go as we speak. So why are they not? I mean, to me, it's a planned destruction on many fronts. With what's going on with the BLM, the Black Lives Matter protests, with the deaths yesterday, with the food, with the COVID, loss of rights. This is an NWO lockdown as far as I can see it. And we need to be really, really vigilant right now. Really vigilant.
What does the World Order, NWO, put in the mirror? What's it say?
Own.
And that's what they want to do.
The ownership.
We're only
They
DNA.
want to own us now.
They think.
They own us for you.
That's it.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
what they're after.
It was a real eye-opener, Dave, when you reminded us about happening every Thursday. That was the throwback to the bygone days of, clapping to get your body picked up. And it was just like, you can see how they work, how their mind ticks now. It's a big insult against us all, and yet they're laughing at us because we are sheeple and we buy everything they say.
Yeah, we are. Well, they consider us to be sheeple, but I think once you get a handle of your own mind and you get a handle of how their system works, I do think you can change a lot of things. I have. I cancelled paying all their gas and electric bills. I'm fortunate enough not to have a mortgage. My input into the system is literally a few bits of food, and that's it. And whatever I want to do for my own pleasure. They've not got a hold of me no more. And we've got documents to serve up next week: ecclesiastical deed poll, evidence of life, this, that, the other. And I know people that have done that. And so we are seeing a separation of the wheat and the tares, the wheat and the chaff. I don't understand why people are tolerating all this. The pubs are now going to be opening back up. You can only walk in a certain way. You've got to walk out the other way. You're going to have COVID supervisors in there. They're not accepting cash. I think they will have a till for cash if you insist on it. They've got spit screens. But I don't understand why, because if you go into a pub, you say, a pint, please, packet of cheese and onion crisps, give me some of them scampi fries, I'll have some of that. Give me some of them hot nuts at that machine, and they're in there touching it all, and they're passing it under the little gap that they think this virus can't get through. So you're handling stuff that they've just handled, but yet they can't handle one of these plastic banknotes. They can't handle this no more, and they want away with this. They want away with cash. They don't want you having this no more. They don't want you having this stuff. They don't. It's disgusting. So we've got to insist on their participation in the system. We've got to insist that they take the cash. And as far as I'm concerned, if you offer to pay cash and they refuse it, then you have the right to take them goods. That's how I see it, because that's legal tender, right? They're breaking the law. They're breaking the law. This is. Someone said to me a few years ago that the NWO, whatever it is you want to call them, are going to have to show their hand soon and come out in full view. Well, I think they are out in full view right now, don't you?
Well, none of this coronavirus stands up to critical thinking. Simple as.
No, well, I read a report here the other day that was written by a pathologist, Dr. John Lee, former consultant pathologist for the NHS Trust, and he's got 10 points where this just don't stack up now, and he's advocating the end of the lockdown right now. It's a fantastic read. I did a live stream on this and covered it all. It just don't stack up. We got people out there committing suicide and can't afford to eat, can't afford to pay the bills. Why would you crash a country? And I watched a scientist or a boffin. He's got £3 of rice and he's put it on some like parchment paper, and then in circles up here he's put, and these £3 represents the billions of people that are on Earth, and then up here he's put little black circles with his marquee pen, and he's written on it cancer, AIDS, and he's put the equivalent grains of rice from that in these circles. Well, when it gets down to the COVID, there's 1 grain of rice in there, 1 grain of rice, but the whole of humanity, this whole £3 of rice has been enslaved because of this 1 grain called COVID. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've seen it, Dave. It's brilliant.
It's really good, isn't it? Because a lot of people need things broken down very simply, and I try and talk simply. I think I am. I think I'm a layman, and all I want is I just want my brothers and sisters of this world to be free and to be happy, and I want them to have a monetary system that works for them and enhances them and doesn't harm them. This one that we have at the moment is very damaging to us all. Anne-Marie Sarsfield's just popped in the room. She's saying good morning to everybody. I'm really enjoying this interaction, ladies and gentlemen, with the Google Hangouts. I've got gorgeous Dr. Dawson and Matty Baby in the room this morning. We're having a lovely little chat, and we're going to run on for about another quarter an hour till up to the hour, and we will continue this in the near future. Happy Father's Day to you boys as well.
Right back at you, Dave.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. It's good. So, Simon Dawson, what woke you up, mate? What was your moment that got you sort of like thinking on your own 2 feet? Oh, I think Simon's gone. He's probably muted out. He's gone for a cigarette or something. So, we'll wait for Simon to pop back. He's a good lad, Simon. Let me tell you, he's done some really good stuff over the last few years. He used to knock about. Do you know Steve McRae, expert in all legal matters?
No, I'm trying to have it.
Yeah, Steve McRae, expert in all legal matters. Simon was good pals. I think they still are. I don't think they do too much together. So what do you see coming for the future then, Matt? What do you think's going to come out of this?
I think we have to stay positive and we have to believe we're going to have a bright future, because more and more people are waking up to what's been happening against us, the crime. So I have to stay positive. I have to believe that we will defeat. If we don't believe that, we're going to be beaten.
Amen.
And the moment we're beaten, game over.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's something I just want to get off my chest, really, because as we all know about the Holocaust, and I always used to imagine myself in that, and I would say to myself, I would never knowingly queue up to go into the gas chambers. I'd rather break the queue, run away, and I've got to put my back of my head and compliantly walking into a gas chamber. Now, follow on 70 years or however long it is, every person who's waiting in line, who meets the parking cover with a mark in your face, no better than one of those white Jews walking into a gas chamber. That's why I will never ever join a queue. I won't put a mask on, because 2 and 2 don't equal 5.
Amen. Man, that's just a perfect analogy of where we are right now. That really is. Yeah. That's crystal vision right there.
It's so shocking, okay, isn't it? But I still don't think we're at the push come to the shove yet.
No.
Because this lockdown, you're all on lockdown, but you're allowed to go out for 4 weeks, and that means it makes the whole lockdown void, doesn't it? I don't think society has come to that push to the shove moment yet, where it's whoa, now you've gone too far. Because I know once they do try and push us a little bit further, then we're going to go, at you.
Yeah,
You haven't reached that
not the
moment yet.
not the best country in the world to try and bring tyranny into is England, because of our ancestral echoes of our forefathers who stood up to tyranny. We will see. The problem is, for me, the people of my country, our country, have always been good at defending against what they can see in front of their eyes, like tanks, guns, and bullets and aeroplanes. They're pretty good at that. But they've never overly been fantastic at learning the game, understanding the subterfuge. And we are in a psychological war right now. And this is why the mental health's off the radar, because of the psychological warfare. If there wasn't this psychological attack or mental attack on people, homes, children, etc., via the family courts and all this other stuff, we certainly would not be where we're at. But when the system decided years ago to pick on the kids and separate the kids and put them out to foster and sort of leave them in the lurch, inadvertently, what they didn't realise is they've created a lot of angry children. And maybe that's what we're seeing in this Black Lives Matter thing, just angry children making out what they want because they couldn't care less. If the BLM and all this faction wasn't murdering and slaying, I would say way to go, because they've got the coppers kneeling, which was a massive show of weakness. But I questioned, I thought, why have all these police just dropped to their knees? They must have earpieces, or their radios must have said, right, lads, ladies, get on your knees, because they all just followed the orders. And it was a massive turning point, because now the impetus behind this Black Lives Matter thing, this campaign of pulling down all these statues and going on rampages, I mean, the devastation that it's causing is unbelievable. But we, the system, has shown a sign of submission. Now, is that a play? Is that to make this groundswell even worse, and then they take the police out of the equation and bring in the army? I think they might do.
Well, the goal is to bring martial law in, isn't it? And martial law, in its definition, is the army on the streets.
It is. I watched Rick Mayall's film quite a few years ago called One by One. And I watched the film, I thought, yeah, fantastic. But the ending I couldn't quite figure out, because the ending was martial law and vehicles out in the street saying nobody come out. And this constable, CID man, had a sidearm, and he went, I'm not having this. And he walked out and they shot him dead. So to me, I think that this could possibly be that end game. This could be the catalyst that brings in the martial law.
Yeah, the martial law is the push coming to the shove. That's when we're really going to see the mental, or the mental. Oh, sorry, I don't know what word I'm using there, but we'll see the guts of the British people.
Amen. Yeah, the sort of stiff upper lip and whether they've. Look, England has always been a bit of a lion, right? We haven't got chickens in Trafalgar Square. We've got 4 lions pointing in all directions. That's quite significant. We don't have a clucking chicken. We don't have a pig. We don't have a giraffe. We have lions there. Now, we have always had that spirit within us. Now, it's been dumbed down. It's been kicked out of us. But I think once people, and winter's going to be a real testing time for this COVID thing, because at the moment we're now due just to be coming into a couple of weeks of a bit of a heat wave. It's not too bad. But once the winter kicks in and things become a little bit more impoverished, I just don't see how people are going to be managing. Do you?
No. It's and then we're all when we come to that stage, I'm just going to wish everyone luck and hope see you at the end of it, because at that point it's going to be down to each and every single one of us to determine on an individual basis, are you going to take it, are you going to bend over and take it, or are you going to say no?
Yeah, and I'm pleased to say that my gorgeous brother Graham Moore, who's got his Daddy Dragon channel, he's now just coming up to 19,000 subscribers. Graham Moore come over to YouTube about 18 months ago after being permanently banned from Facebook, although he has got a new Facebook profile because he just added me on it. But I wondered where he went. I thought, he's so voicey and so passionate. And then I see him crop up on YouTube and I looked at his profile. I was like, wow, he's got 16,000 subscribers. Well, now he's at 18,900. Now, I don't get excited about the numbers of people that have subscribed to his channel. Neither mine. It's all good that people come and join. I get excited because people are tuning into his vibration and listening to what he has to say. That's what excites me. You know, so people are getting their information and they're seeing things from an alternative, because the media's controlled the minds of the people of this country for such a long time through the radio, the newspapers and the TV. They're free conglomerates, they're free positions of power have slipped away from them because social media, as far as I'm concerned, has taken over. What do you reckon?
Well, it tying back to what you said about the coppers going down on the knee. I think that's more down to the subconscious programming we've all been subjected to. And so we're doing things on a subconscious level, not even aware of why we are doing it. So these police officers are going down on the knee. Why the fuck am I on the knee? I'm here for one reason, and it's been dictated for us subconsciously.
Yeah.
But by the various definition, we don't know what is going into our mind because it's happening on a subconscious level. And it ties in what you said, it's a psychological warfare at the moment. And that ties into perfectly how you're playing it.
Yes, it is heavily psychological. I can't wait for the night of the burning of the books. That's going to be interesting. It's coming, it's coming.
Well, every time a YouTube censors an informative video, it's in the same ethos as burning the books, isn't it?
But so what we've got in this country, I've always seen this as a bit of a pressure cooker, because the pressure cooker, all the contents are inside it and they're bubbling away, and all of a sudden that little valve lifts off the top to let the pressure out. When you suppress the truth and you don't let the truth go out, like all of us being censored on social media, etc., etc., I'm actually waiting for him to ban Donald Trump from his Twitter, to be fair. He's got over 80 million followers. I don't think they would dare do that. But listen, one rule for one and one for the other is not right. If they're not prepared to censor Donald Trump because of the posts and tweets that he puts out, they should not be doing that to anybody else, because I don't share content that's no different than what Donald Trump. Donald Trump is definitely a wakey. So because all men are subject and equal to the law, you'd like to think, that's what we've got to get back to. And that's why I harp on about the rule of law, because it is an instant revert to the rule of law. And it means then that the police and the judiciary and us as the people are all subject to it. And it pulls us all back into alignment overnight. And all it needs to be done is implemented. We just need to reassert and reaffirm the rule of law, and we become great again. And who wouldn't want that? Who would not want greatness? I want greatness. I want abundance. I want nice stuff. I'm fed up with this evil.
Yeah, aren't we all? It's funny you should say that, Dave, because I never had a father growing up.
Bless you.
My mum always said, no father is better than having a bad father. So I grew up on 2018. I chose Judge Dredd as my father figure.
Bless
and
you.
of course, it comes down to the law. The law is the great equalizer. If you break the law and you harm, you cause loss or injury, there's a law for that.
Amen.
And that's why I'm confident of a better future, because the law is going to set it all out for us. It's going to solve it. You were holding up a book yesterday, weren't you?
Yeah.
Rule of law.
I've just held it up now. Yeah.
There you go. That's going to be our danger.
Well, Daddy Dragon, my good friend Graham, he's a constitutionalist. I'm a constitutionalist. We stand for the rule of law. The Constitution is the solution. All we need to do is reaffirm it. Now, he went into Westminster Magistrates Court a few years ago after petitioning the monarch outside Buckingham Palace, and I was privy to that. And when he went into Westminster Magistrates Court, the magistrate said to him, what evidence do you rely on here today? And he said, well, there's the Queen's coronation oath, and there's the Bill of Rights of 1688-89. And they all went, oh. The police were addressed by the magistrates and said, what evidence do you offer? And all 30 coppers said nothing. All our cameras were off on the day. How convenient. And so the magistrates looked at the prosecution and said, what evidence do you offer? And they said, none. We're withdrawing. And the magistrates looked at Graham and said, thank you very much for coming. You're free to go. Have a nice day. And it was so simple. He never said a word. He just put down the Queen's coronation oath, and the Bill of Rights. Now, the Bill of Rights states that we absolutely have rights. A natural right is to redress of grievances, and we have the absolute right to petition the monarch, because the monarch can't possess a power that we didn't put into her. She can't. So we're at that point. We're at that junction. We are at crossroads in this country. I might, before we disappear, because it's 1 o'clock, I'm going to go and get a bit of lunch. I think that potentially there could be a massive civil uprising in this country, because we're seeing the groundswell as we speak, Matt. So, I mean, the future that's to come is out of our hands. It is in the hands of the divine creator. And I know that the divine creator is going to smash the granny out of the darkness anytime soon. So that's all we've got to stay in that light ethos.
The whole legal side has got to be changed now.
Amen, Simon.
The whole legal structure has got to come down and reinforce the Bill of Rights into the Constitution, etc. And with it, and by doing that, the gold standard and the silverback document will be coming back.
Well, yeah, there's a thing called Jassara Nasara. That a friend of mine has been told by a high banker that disappeared out to Geneva about 8 weeks ago. She was told via a phone call that they'd been monitoring her Facebook profile and said that you keep posting about Jassara Nasara. She said, just so you know, that will absolutely come true. Jassara Nasara is coming. So, Jesus Joe says,
I've signed up to it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, how can people do that?
Well, Neil Berry put it on, didn't they? I'll send you a link after this chat.
Perfect. Guys, listen, have you enjoyed the Google Hangout link today?
I really hope to do it again, Dave.
Yeah, mate, we're going to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, for using the chat room, at the top of the page is the link for the Google Hangouts. Please join. Please feel free to join in these debates that we're having twice a day at the minute, because we're all just doing what we're doing, and we need to get the information out there so we can all help one another. All I will ask is be respectful. If no one's respectful in the room and comes in and just causes riots, I shall just plonk them out of the Hangouts and you won't be coming in. It's not that I've got anything against you. I don't think we have the time now to waste on that energy. We just want good, clean energy. So feel free to join the Google Hangouts. That link is in the top of the page. I will share it again. I want to thank my guest today, Simon Dawson from up north, for popping in. Matty Taylor for popping in and giving us his renditions of greatness today. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. God bless you both. And I will see you very, very soon. Take care.
Have a good day.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
Dave.
See you later, boys.
Right, I've ended the